Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is John Ferry, and welcome to New Zealand Tattoo. Today, I had the great pleasure of talking to Hokowhitu Sciascia, who is a black and grey specialist and bases himself at Shipshape Tattoo in Dairy Flats, Auckland, New Zealand. It was a really great conversation today with Hoko. It was cool to learn about his journey in tattooing, from where he started to his travel overseas and now being based at Shipshape up in Dairy Flats. Hoko bases all of his artwork generally around 3D rendering, which he's been doing since he was a kid. His 3D modeling technique is really amazing, and you'll see in the conversation that he's actually about to take it into a different field. Please make sure you go and follow Hoko on Instagram under @inglorious_Hoko. And if you like this conversation, please do subscribe to the channel, like this video, and look out for the conversations coming up.
Hey, there we go.
How are you?
Hey, yeah, not bad, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, man. How's your day?
Oh, man, I've been in front of my computer all day now, and it's so beautifully sunny outside that I'm just kind of cooped up. Hey? Yeah. But that's been great. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, bro. Yeah, I don't want to rub it in, but we were at Mission Bay today with the youngest kid and getting some fish and chips and putting the feet in the water. But yours, I mean, you're in front of a computer for a good reason, obviously. Yeah, just been designing all day. Oh man, cool. But, hey, thank you so much for doing this, man. I appreciate like taking your time and seeing as you've been in front of the computer all day working. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I got
that's all good, bro.
So many questions I'm keen to put to you, man. If you're keen to have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I might just close this curtain here because the sun has moved and it is streaming right in on me.
Nice. That painting behind you is epic.
Oh, thanks, man. Sorry, I painted it myself.
Yeah, nice.
You want a closer look?
Yeah, man. If that's cool. Beautiful. Is that from reference, or is that just from your head?
So this is a master's study. So this was painted. Originally it was painted by I think it was a 17th century Polish artist named Jan Magdejo or something. I'm not too sure, but I just really liked it. So
beautiful, man.
It's glaring out a lot. But I just really liked it, so I thought I'd paint a copy of it, just for practice and just to have my own nice paintings around.
100%. Did you call that a master's study?
Yeah, so cool. That's kind of what it's called when you kind of just make a copy of an old painting.
Yeah,
especially if it's from Baroque or any kind of classical period.
Oh, beautiful, man.
Thanks, man.
Very good. Marshall stack. Got the Marshall stack as well.
What's it, sorry?
Got your Marshall stack as well?
Yeah, my little Marshall stack and a see-through.
Yeah, I can see that
over there. Yeah, man. It's funny. Like you wouldn't expect a big plastic guitar to be just sounds so nice. Like, it's got a beautiful tone to it. That guitar.
Yeah,
it's
I remember.
Kind of like a Les
first time
Paul.
I ever saw one of those was that was it All My Life maybe by Foo Fighters, the video for that. It's just cool, you see all the wiring and it's dope.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I assume they're playing an acrylic guitar.
Yeah. It must be. Yeah.
Oh,
in a big empty stadium. It's a hell of a video.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember Metallica had a few Telecasters that they had made with acrylic, and they put their piss in it. They filled it with their urine, so it was like slushing around inside it. They called it the piss caster.
Yeah.
It's so dumb, but
it's
very Metallica.
New version of the old fish in the high heel.
Yeah.
So good. Hey, cool, man. So yeah, I mean, I've been following you for quite a long time, and apart from the work, it was really cool to meet you down in Wellington and obviously sit in for your little seminar that you did as well. So post that, I've always wanted to have a chat with you, but certainly post that seminar, I like heaps of questions. Just really interested in hearing a bit about your I don't want to say past, but your journey in like from a young dude that kind of moved into tattooing, and then your painting and your art and your 3D perspective art and all that sort of stuff. So if it's okay, easiest place to start is where it all started. Like, what is a young Hoko doing?
Young Hoko was kind of living in the middle of nowhere with my mother and my sisters, and drawing a lot. My mum has just always been a very creative person, and she kind of pushed us into doing creative things often. And we kind of had we often lived in places where there was no telephone or radio reception. And obviously this was kind of pre-internet. Dial-up started coming out when I was in primary school, but we didn't get it until I was a teenager, I don't think. So there wasn't really all that much to do except for play outside and draw. And so that's kind of what I did. Cool. More than anything, I was obsessed with playing video games, except I didn't have any consoles or a television or anything like that. So I'd kind of strategically make friends based on which video games they had and go over and play them for them. But I guess that, like, kind of having that early exposure to a lot of different art styles that you're going to see in video games has been a huge influence on me over my life as well.
Yeah, right. So, like, when did you start? I guess, taking art a little bit more serious in terms of what you're, or like spending more time than maybe anything else, kind of focusing on that?
Well, I when I was in my late years of high school, I started focusing really heavily on art. But then when I left high school, I got a job, all that sort of thing, and it kind of fell to the wayside for about a solid year after I left high school. And then I happened to be working in a liquor store and playing a guitar in the storeroom, just jamming on an electric guitar as you do. Yeah. And kind of one of the local tattoo artists walked in and seen me playing guitar and was like, "Oh, I'm a musician as well. Come hang out." And kind of we formed a friendship. And eventually that friendship led to me coming in and picking up some hours looking after the shop while they were too busy, and then it led to me drawing for them and eventually getting an apprenticeship. So I've really only started to take it like super seriously once I kind of got my foot in the door of the tattoo studio.
So were you already did you already have a tattoo or two, or were you tattooed at all?
Yeah, I think by the time I got my apprenticeship, I only had 4 tattoos, but but that opened a huge that was mind blowing. I got my first tattoo from Aidan Holland at Dean Holland's tattoo studio in Waihi, and it was a great experience. The tattoo is actually one of the best tattoos I have on me. Like, it's so solid. It's such a good tattoo. But that was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I went home and I started drawing tattoo designs, and obviously that led to me being offered an apprenticeship eventually as well. Cool. But yeah, I got my first tattoo and I was back within, I think, 2 weeks, and I got my palms done. For my second tattoo. I was 17. I had to talk him into doing it because he was like, "It's gonna fall out," all that sort of thing. And I did my research, so he was kind of like, "All right, let's do it." Yeah.
Cool, man.
Worked out well.
You were obviously drawing before that. Were you? Did you take your designs into him, or was it something that you just picked off the wall there? Or you got him to design it for you?
My palms were actually they were from a drawing that I did when I think I was 16 or something like that. I did them in high school for my art portfolio, I guess. So that was after that I got tattooed at the other studio in town, which was the guy I did my apprenticeship under, and I just done this shitty sketch of like a tribal wolf. It's so embarrassing, and he was just like, "Man, that's awesome. That's sick. Let's do it right now." And I was like, "Oh, I was just actually wanting critique." And he's like, "No, let's do it right now." So I'm still getting it lasered off.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's deep.
There we go.
There
we go.
Wow.
That's had quite a few sessions. It was very, very blown out.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was bad. It was the kind of things we do in the early days, man.
It's all part of it. Yeah.
I ended up quitting my apprenticeship just because it wasn't a good situation. But and it wasn't on good terms when I decided to leave. So so it was about a year and a half, and after that I didn't do anything tattoo related for a year. Okay. And then at the start of 2021, I got my sleeve started by Hades down in Wellington, and that inspired me. And talking to Hades and being around like a really positive tattoo influence inspired me to pursue getting myself back into a studio again. And within a month, I managed to bluff my way into a shop and started tattooing again.
Yeah. Oh, good. Do you mean, you said 2021? Do you mean 2001?
Oh, no, sorry. I mean 2012. Actually.
2012. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Cool. So I've been tattooing full time since April 2012.
Cool, man. And so was that, you said you were getting it done in Wellington. Is that where you kind of picked it back up again?
No, I was actually in Hamilton.
Oh, Hamilton, sorry. Yeah.
Yes, but Hades is in Wellington.
Yeah, got ya.
So I was traveling down to Wellington to get tattooed by Hades. And yeah.
So how long were you tattooing in Hamilton, man?
I was tattooing there for I think a year and 9 months, and after that point, Matt Jordan announced that he was looking for somebody. And but he also announced that he was going to take on a bunch of new clients. So I got really excited and was like, well, I'm not going to apply for a job there because, it's Matt Jordan. And also he's in Auckland and fuck that.
Yeah.
And then, I ended up, I just emailed him wanting to get tattooed. And he was like, come up tomorrow and get tattooed. And I was like, what? And basically I came up. Turned out it was a job interview. I still didn't know the entire time. Like I was getting my hand tattooed, and he was asking me all these like really personal questions, and I'm just going, oh, that's just Matt,
Yeah.
And then eventually he was like, so are you gonna move up? Like, come on, man. Like this is a job interview. And I was like, oh crap, I only just clicked,
Oh, good. So were you getting that the scuba diver piece? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the dive helmet.
That's right.
Tattoo.
Yeah.
Epic. Yeah, that's from 2013.
Yeah,
it's so solid.
Sensational.
It's so solid.
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing that piece when it was posted. Or I don't know if that was Instagram or Facebook or something. I remember seeing it. Maybe it was even a magazine or something. Yeah. I'm amazed. Like, because hand tattoos. I mean, I hadn't seen too many hand tattoos back then. At least kind of realism ones. Seen a lot of like tribal and kind of traditional style, but nothing realistic. It's epic. So big move to Shipshape, man. Like that must have been obviously like a ridiculously amazing opportunity. But before the move, what sort of tattooing were you doing? Was there anything in particular you were focusing on, or were you just kind of street shop, or?
I was doing anything. Basically,
cool.
I was just, I was in, those early days where you're just super enthusiastic, and also I was kind of directionless. Like I didn't know what style to do, and I was like, maybe I'll do Japanese, maybe I'll do neo-trad. I found my niche now, and I'm glad I have. But I was, like you got to cut your teeth and just do every single thing that walks through the door, basically. Yeah. So I was doing a lot of illustrative kind of stuff, which like. I would probably cringe to see what I was tattooing back then. I was like, why did I think I was good enough to draw that piece, But, you got to make those, you kind of learn all that sort of stuff. But yeah. Obviously, when I went to Matt's, there was more of a focus on realism. And I just learned an insane amount in like the first week that I was there.
Imagine.
It's mind-blowing.
Were you busy with art outside of tattooing at that stage? Were you painting and drawing at the same stage, like for your own portfolios rather than for tattoo art?
Yeah, I was drawing. I was drawing a lot back then. I don't think I still have any of the drawings, and I don't think I've really showed anybody them either. I would just try and kind of draw for myself.
Yeah, cool. And so, I mean, like you do, obviously going to Matt's shop and with such a heavy focus on realism, is that something that you were like already kind of dipping into, or was it kind of there that you went, kind of need to start picking it up?
Well, I was already dipping into it because, but again, it was like one of those situations where it was like whatever came through the door. And so back then, like some people would come into the studio and, a small town tattoo studio, you kind of get like strange inquiries or strange people, and they'd come in and they'd be like, well, I want a realism piece, but you don't have heaps of realism in your portfolio. So to prove to me that you can do it, you have to draw it first. Now, I'd do it. I would do it. I'd be like, all right, sit down and grab a coffee or draw it.
Awesome.
And I'd sit there and I'd do these like things where I'd draw a portrait before I tattooed it. So like it's almost like a situation where I was like decreasing the quality each time. And then when I got to Shipshape, Matt was like, why the fuck are you doing that?
Yeah.
Go to the source, trace the photo.
Yeah.
Like just go there. And then he was like, one thing he said is like, just tattoo what you see. Don't try and add anything. You know,
Yeah.
like you're still kind of learning. You know, yeah, it was definitely a big eye opener.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, he streamlines me. Like, you know, you pick up things from every person that you meet, basically. But I think the most I picked up the most from Matt for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes I think, especially with what I've gone through, like it only takes that one person to show you like a really just a small tweak to make things just so much easier, like a perspective or just a way of stenciling or tattooing, especially. But and then you go, oh. Is that it? Like, okay, I can do that. Yeah,
exactly. It's crazy, and like, especially when like people are learning to draw, you can see like the before and after. Like those, if you know the advice to give, you can see like an immediate improvement. Like, my girlfriend has been learning to draw, and I taught her the Loomis method for drawing the head and facial construction, and it takes 5 minutes to teach someone that. But it was like night and day. The way she drew faces and like the improvement of the faces that she was drawing was just like, yeah, it was really cool to see. Yeah.
Cool, man. So like when you obviously with Shipshape, you've obviously been with them for quite a while, but traveled as well. What was there any kind of in those first couple of years at the Orewa shop? Was there any piece that you can remember or any sort of transition period that you went through that you kind of started going, oh yeah, okay, now I'm starting to feel it's not only super confident, but starting to pick your way into kind of what you really, I mean, what you are now, obviously, was there little grains of sand that you can kind of look back at and go, this is where this happened and kind of led you to where you are now?
Yeah, 100%. Like there's a few like pieces. One piece is from my first like a week tattooing at Matt's, I think, and it was just like a realism, black and gray realism piece of a Bernini angel statue, and you know, that's kind of like everyone's bread and butter now if you do black and gray tattoos, but back then it was kind of like a little bit less common. And anyway, I you know, just Matt was like, do this and do it like this, and yeah, I remember looking back at that piece. I was like, wow, that's probably the best tattoo I've done so far. And it was kind of a bit of a breakthrough. And another one was also my early days of being at Matt's. Is a guy just wanted a big gnarly demon, and so I drew like this gnarly demon's face. You know, super influenced by like Paul Booth and all the rest of it. But a lot of the textures that I did then, they're kind of I could see like, you know, I could see where, like my progress from there. That's like, it was a good transitional piece as well.
Yeah, was that Bernini statue? Was that the Ecstasy of Saint Teresa?
No, it wasn't that one. I don't actually know if I've tattooed that, but I drew it. I drew it the other day actually.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I have that right here.
Yeah, right.
Wait a minute, I drew a bastardized version of it. Yeah. That's what I like to do. There we go. Yeah, once upon a time, that was the ecstasy of Saint Teresa.
Yeah, so good. I got that tattooed by, I don't know if you know, heard of a guy called Pete. He goes by the name Dr. Pete. He's a German guy that Ryan Evans used to work with.
He
tattooed that on me, and like I think it was like 3 years later, I was in Rome and just found myself in this chapel and looked up and I was like, holy shit, it's my statue. Like, holy shit, this is insane. Seeing something like in person is just, I mean, is there anything like, I mean, with the painting behind you, is there anything that you've tattooed before and then found yourself, because I know you've done extensive travel, have you found yourself overseas and gone, that was my reference?
Yeah, I have actually. I'll show you real quickly. Another master's copy I did, a painting. And
this room you're in is a treasure trove.
This is my tiny little office.
Little den, it's great.
Yeah, I've literally only just moved into this house, so I'm kind of still getting everything set up. So it's pretty barren at the moment, but you know, I did this painting in my sketchbook. Master's copy of Peter Paul Rubens. There we go. And I was walking through the National Portrait Gallery of Edinburgh, in Scotland, and and the original was right there, and it was incredible. I was like, I painted that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Because I just didn't
good.
expect it. I didn't go looking for the original, and it was amazing to see the original. And then as soon as I was so happy with this painting.
Yeah, man,
and
beautiful.
And then I walked in and I seen the original, and then I looked at my own painting and I went, fuck.
Did you have that with you?
This piece of shit. I had it in my backpack.
Yeah.
It was like,
So good. So at what stage did you start the travel for specifically for tattooing?
So I moved to Melbourne in 2016. And
cool.
I started traveling I started heading over to Europe and England about a month and a half after I arrived in Melbourne.
Wow.
So I shot off and I worked the London Tattoo Convention in 2016, and I made really, really good friends in London, and I just kept going back. I was going and working at Camille's studio. Working with Ryan Evans was working there at the time. Going and working with my friend Heidel Gamona, and obviously Camille and all the rest of it. So I was going over there, making that a regular guest spot. Going over, I think in a couple of years, I went over like 4 times in 2 years or something like that. But then I would go around to Europe and stuff as well. So it kind of started there. But in 2018. Packed my bags and left Melbourne for good. It turned out I wasn't too sure what was happening, and we went over to England and went over to Europe, and spent some time around there. But here I am in New Zealand.
Yeah. Well, good thing is they're not going anywhere, so you can always go once everything opens up again.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty disappointed that it was like my last year of my 20s I spent in lockdown. Oh man.
Got it. Nice.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
How did you enjoy the London convention? That thing is insane.
It is insane. I actually didn't enjoy it at the time. And that's not because the convention wasn't good or anything. That's because I was so fucking jet lagged. So jet lagged.
You fly straight in and then straight into it, were you?
Yeah, I flew in the day before.
Wow.
It was just
every time.
Yeah, it was rough. So I remember on the first day that I was there, I had a real rough day tattooing just because everything goes wrong when you're at an international convention,
Absolutely, yeah.
And I finally finished tattooing, and then I got up, stood out in front of out of my booth, and went to go have a stretch, and I was like, oh man. And a dude walked right up behind me and then just dropped a full pint glass, and it just landed completely down, and then just splashed all up my back and just up my jeans, everything, and just saturated me. And I turned around, and he was just like looking around, oh, who could it be? And I'm like, you're the only person there. And I went, dude. And he just went, oh, sorry, and walked off. And I just went, oh, fuck this. And I went home. Yeah. Didn't go out to any of the dinners or anything like that. I was just so exhausted. And then just having someone just throw a beer on me, just
cap it all off.
Yeah.
Who were you in a booth with there? Was it obviously, were you by yourself on that one, or was that the one where you had a few Shipshape guys?
No, actually, I was with Claire Reed.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, and Claire's awesome, and it's funny because it's got quite a contrast in styles. So all her side of the booth was really beautiful and colourful, and then mine had a big gnarly skull, and it was all dark and everything's all black. And she does she's a very spiritual kind of person, very airy fairy, and she's amazing. And, but it was really nice to share a booth with her. But it was this clear distinction down the middle of our booth.
Yeah, yin and yang kind of styles. Thing. Yeah,
it was great. I really enjoyed sharing a booth. But it is such a shame that convention is closed down because it was amazing.
Such a cool venue.
Yeah, beautiful venue, and they had cool entertainment. I got to see one of my favorite bands ever playing there. I didn't know that they were playing there. I just showed up and Orange Goblin's on stage. I'm like, oh hell yes.
Oh, good.
So good. My client held my backpack and my leather jacket, and I would have jumped on the mosh pit. It was great.
No. I loved it. Obviously, it's just such a massive convention, but I love that as a fan of tattooing and tattooists, that you could go into a room and it be 10 of your favorite artists in that specific genre of tattooing just in that room, and then you're there for an hour just looking at them, watching and talking to them and stuff, and then you go, fuck, I'm just in one of the small rooms. I'm going to go into the but yeah, it was just and then downstairs and sensational.
Yeah, it is amazing like that.
Me and the wife, we got there like first thing in the morning, and I was like, I'm so excited, I have to go have a beer or something just to calm down, just like have a breather. And I got a beer, and Paul Booth was next to me. I was like, can I get you a shot of Jaeger or something, man? Like, and we had a little chat. It was
that's cool.
You just go. It's amazing. Such a cool place.
Yeah, Paul's cool, isn't he?
Lovely. It's such a lovely dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most tattooers that you find are like, they're usually like relatively soft spoken. They've got time to chat, even though, I mean, I put tattooists on a bit of a pedestal, just because I admire everything that especially people like Paul Booth do. And you just expect some sort of God to be like, don't talk to me, or just like, bow before you anything like, and then they go, yeah, man, do you want to have a beer? And you're just like, holy shit, they're just a human,
Cool. That's exactly it. Mind you, I have met that person that you just described who's like, he's speaking to me. Like,
big ring, kiss the hand. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they see how many Instagram followers you've got. They're like, oh my God, dude, let's hang out.
Yeah. Let's do a collab.
What? Now you want to talk to me.
Yeah. Nice. So what's it like being at the new Shipshape now that you guys are all set up? And is it Dairy Flats or Flatbush? I always
Dairy Flats.
Yeah. How's that going?
Yeah.
It's beautiful
awesome.
space.
That's great. Yeah. It's really cool. It's definitely tucked away because Dairy Flats is the middle of nowhere, but it's really, really nice. Really nice spot. And the whole team's really cool. Everybody's super down to earth. There's no big egos or anything like that. It's exactly like it's like the Garden of Eden of tattooing. It's like all these kind of like, there's some really big names in the studio. Like, there's legitimately some of the best tattooers in the world. Like Ryan Evans has definitely been like the best fucking portrait artist ever. Like he's amazing.
Yeah.
And we got Ben K, everybody. We got Matt, and everybody's just like, oh yeah, hey man, how's it going?
Yeah.
You want to talk about video games? You want to talk about art? Like it's real chill. Real chill.
Cool. Yeah, I remember going up to a seminar there for Matt and Toffee.
Cool.
And just sitting there, just going, what an amazing space to spend as your workplace. But yeah, like then just talking to everyone that was there, and again, just super chilled, just sitting back having a beer. It was really like, must be such a cool and inspiring place to go to every day.
Yeah, no, it is really cool.
Cool.
And now I live a little bit closer to it as well, because I had a 40-kilometer commute through Auckland traffic on the way there, so that wasn't nice. But now that I've moved house during this lockdown, I'm going to be far closer, so it's going to be even nicer to just kind of get there and just hang out with everyone, stay a little bit longer, because don't have to battle traffic or anything. But,
cool. I have to ask, because listening to you talk, even just earlier around the art that you saw in Edinburgh, and listening to your seminar, you've got it seems like your art history is really on par, and just looking through your work and stuff, and seeing things like the Greek mythology and all of the things you kind of combine and are able to talk about. Are you quite a studied person? Is that something that you're really interested in?
Yeah, definitely something I'm interested in. I definitely wouldn't say that I'm a overly educated person, considering I dropped out of school during sixth form exams, so I can't really, I'm a tattoo artist, so, but anything, I don't know, I get obsessive about things, and I just learn. I like to learn. I like to constantly be learning something, so I will, come across an artist, and then I'll learn everything about their history.
Deep dive.
Do a bit of a deep dive. Just I don't know, find out all the weird little things that made them tick. Turns out Caravaggio wasn't a very nice person, but
at all.
His paintings are amazing.
And so, tortured soul too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he just liked hurting people.
Yeah.
I mean, he got himself knighted so that he could legally carry a sword, because he kept getting arrested for attacking people with knives and swords and stuff. So bit of a head case.
Yeah. And so is that something that you is it just like a pastime with you? You're just going, I'm just interested in finding out stuff, so I'll just pick someone and go for it? Or are you doing it for like specific reasons to assist your art? Both?
I would say, yeah, it's always going to be a bit of both because if something is going to lend well to your art, then hell yeah, let's get amongst it. But I think it just kind of organically happens. Sometimes I don't know, sometimes I do a lot of reading, like just reading about the person's history or whatever, or other times I just kind of do like a just be listening to a documentary on Francis Bacon, for example, while I'm drawing or painting or something, So yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know, you have that kind of natural, intake of things, and then suddenly you know all about Francis Bacon.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and the fact that it actually resides with it is cool. So you can actually kind of take that forward and recall stuff, at a later date.
Cool, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the seminar, by the way.
It was good, man.
Terrified of how that was going to go.
Oh yeah, it was epic. It was you talking about something that you're passionate about. This, you can't dislike that. You can listen to that all day.
Yeah.
So that might, perfect time to segue into that. Like,
okay,
where did where did that start?
Well, the 3D thing,
just starting to
programs.
That's okay, the one you're like, obviously, even just drawing through. I don't know if you started with the Wacom or just doing the 3D programs and starting to use that for reference.
Well, I started messing around with 3D modeling programs when I was a kid. Actually,
really,
I would have been like, I don't know, 13 or something like that. And again, look, I mentioned earlier that I'm a huge lover of video games, and I generally didn't have the means to play them, so I would scavenge like old computer parts and build my own computers, just my own towers, just to be able to play video games. And I started messing around with video games like Unreal and Half-Life 2 and all the rest of it. And I'd make my own levels for those games, just for myself in my bedroom, and just mess around with it. And then I think it was in 2015, I was drawing for a tattoo, and I was worried that I wasn't going to get the perspective right on what I wanted to do. Yeah. So then I decided, it was like 11 p.m. and I decided, I'll just quickly learn ZBrush and make a face, and then and here I am. I'm still using ZBrush. I didn't learn the how to. It took me weeks to figure out what I actually wanted to do, because I was unfocused, didn't really know what I was doing. But I got there in the end.
So good.
I've spent all day using ZBrush today. So.
So you're for every tattoo basically these days, it's your own personal designs through ZBrush and using the Wacom and 3D rendering and stuff, right?
Yeah. So I'll either like use sculptures that I've made, like I'll sculpt a face or whatever, it depends on what I'm doing, and then render that, and then obviously tattoo it, or I'll just draw something. So it's either one of those or a combination of the two.
Cool, man.
It's kind of utilize all the skills that we have.
Yeah. And have you got just a portfolio of designs that you're just always kind of creating, and you take that to customers and go, is there anything here that kind of catches your eye, or are they coming to you specific with an idea, or quite collaborative?
Very rarely do they actually have an idea. Most of the stuff that you see on my Instagram is just like the client was like, tattoo me. So I tattoo them. So quite often it is me choosing the entire theme and everything. Basically, I'll sometimes, especially, I'm more comfortable doing that if I've already tattooed the person, because then I kind of get to know them a bit, and I'll just create something that I think will suit them and look good, look awesome and tell a story. Yeah. But oftentimes I get people who I've never tattooed before, and they email me and they're just like, hey man, like your work, want a sleeve? And I'm like, what do you want? I don't know. And I'm like, okay, give me 3 keywords, send me 3 images from my portfolio that you like, and then I will create something for them.
It's like that, eh? Too easy.
That's not easy. Sometimes I'll stay up all night. I'll be pulling my hair out. Like, oh my god! So honestly, sometimes I'll spend so much time on a design that by the time I get to the tattoo, I'm like, oh, for fuck, man, we started again. Now I've got to actually tattoo it. I've just been working for days on this thing, But it's worth it at the end.
I think that's I would like to think that a few people are going to listen to this, and what a privilege that is, that sort of position to be in. A big pressure, obviously, but amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. I've been tattooing's been incredibly good to me. It's given me an amazing lifestyle. Like, there's so many things I can be thankful for within tattooing, and that is just another one of them. Clients actually wanting what I do. It's really cool.
Cool, man. So, like, with obviously what you're doing at the moment with the tattoo side of stuff, is there anything else that you're working on, paint wise or design wise, that outside of tattooing?
I actually just started a second career just for fun. So I ended up just sending them an email, because I didn't know how long this lockdown was going to go for, and I ended up sending them an email for just seeing if they needed any like freelance artists or anything like that, digital sculptors or anything. And basically, I now have a job at Grind Gear Games as a concept artist and 3D artist. So so that's why I've been in front of my computer for this is my first week actually working for them. So obviously it's all remote. But I've been sculpting all day.
Oh man! Oh, congratulations! That's epic.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's
so good.
It feels like going to Shipshape again. Like where I showed up and I was kind of like, oh my god, am I going to be able to do this? And then Matt just would like take me aside and give me amazing advice, and I was learning so much. It feels like that once again, like cool. Except making 3D models and video game art and stuff.
Cool, man. Oh, that's rad. Hey, look, I mean, I don't want to take too much of your time, man. You've been on the computer all day, so I'm sure you got some food to eat and some sleep to take, or maybe even drink. But I just wanted to as a Kiwi artist, because I mean this channel that I'm kind of doing is New Zealand tattooists. I'd be keen to just kind of hear your thoughts if you've got any about. Personally, I feel like New Zealand tattooing in general is up there with some of the best in the world at this stage. Especially, I mean, you work with and are one of them in New Zealand. That's creating a footprint in the world. Be keen to hear your thoughts on where you think it's all going.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so strange that it's such a small little island at the bottom of the world, And so we go south, and it's just Antarctica, but it's this tiny little island with such a small population. It's got so many overachievers. Like, there's no way that there should be this many good tattoo artists in this country. Like, we're so fortunate for that, because honestly, like, every time I go to a tattoo convention, I'll just see someone new that I've never even heard of before, or whatever. And I'm talking to a New Zealand tattoo convention, and I'll just like, I'll look at what they're doing. I'm like, damn, man, that's really good. That's mind blowing, So I think Kiwi tattooers should be very proud of themselves, really.
Yeah.
But the people I'm surrounded by now, they don't have any of that. It's everybody's just super positive, and just when they see someone draw something amazing or tattoo something amazing, everyone's just like, wow, that's really cool. And that's cool to see. Like, there are a lot of very humble and just so many highly skilled artists in New Zealand. But
Are there any in particular? Obviously, you've got your colleagues at Shipshape. Is there anyone outside of your workplace that you're kind of keeping an eye on, or you're seeing that's just doing sensational work in any sort of genre within the tattooing?
Man, we've been in lockdown for the last 3 months, man. I haven't looked at anything tattoo related in 3 months.
Oh man, I'm so jealous.
I feel as though I'm like I don't know, forgetting like how to tattoo. The whole country's just kind of stopped. Yeah. But like there's people that are always put on a bit of a pedestal in New Zealand. It's like, obviously you've got Andy and Hades. Hades is just like one of those maestros that can just do any kind of style and do it incredibly fucking well. And then he's just so humble about it. He won't even take a photo of it. Nobody ever sees it, because he's like, I can't be fucking taking a photo. I've just been tattooing all day. What do I want to take photos for? And I really respect people that have that kind of attitude, but it's just about the tattoo, it's just about the art. It's really cool.
Yeah, nice. Well, I won't take up any more of your time, man. I appreciate you coming on. It's epic. Really, really cool to have a chat with you, man. Yeah,
likewise, man. It's been really cool.
Awesome.
Thanks very much for having me.
Enjoy your evening. Yeah, no, it was epic, man. Enjoy your evening. Hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yeah, cheers, man. Likewise.
Cool, bro.
Have a good one.
All right, man.